indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All please maintain for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. You didn't know this was interactive.
What does it say back there?
Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here. Row officer reports and comments. Looking out in the audience today, we have no row officers or representatives thereof. Public comments. Any member of the public wish to make any comment?
George, what Morgan will do next, he'll ask you to recite the Gettysburg Address.
I was thinking about asking to lead us in prayers.
You got to be careful.
Tough
Get the
crowd.
doors real big, yeah?
Can you do the Gettysburg? That would be spectacular.
Right.
You do? Well.
I'm not volunteering.
We're scoring.
As far as I can get.
This content conceived and lived and dedicated to the proposition of all men are created.
I started something.
I think you might have.
Very good, Loretta.
I think I learned it in 4th, 5th grade.
I forgot
That was the beginning of my public speaking.
That was the end.
it. The whole thing.
No, we have no repository bids, no advertising bids proposals, no receipt of bids proposals. We have a warrant register for January 31, 2023. I'll give my colleagues a minute to check that over before making a motion to accept the warrant register.
So moved.
Be with you in just a second. I will second.
Motion second for discussion here, non-question motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Up next, we have the minutes from Tuesday, January 31, 2022, last meeting of Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. And I'll give my colleague a minute to check those over. And I'll take a motion to approve the minutes or make any changes as necessary in speaking.
Oh, Rebecca had so much fun last week, she's.
Back again.
Back for more.
It happens. It happens. It happens.
I also had so much fun that I'm back.
Yes.
That, legal requirement.
Oh my goodness. I will move to accept the minutes as written.
Second with a very minor correction.
You got it.
I just happened to catch it by luck. On the very last page under public comments, that should read Kenny Rice, not Kenny Price. Remove the P.
Yep,
But they got it right up at the beginning under the list of people attending.
Just be a little scrivener's error. All right, with that change, we have a motion to second. Any further discussion or non-question motion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. We have one written communication from CSC Environmental for Health and Safety, Living Paving Castle Builders, it's NPDES permit renewal in the city of Newcastle. That's their facility located on Moravia Street. Yeah, they're just applying for a routine NPDES renewal. We see these damn near every meeting.
Mhm.
So I'll take a motion to accept and file that.
So moved.
I will second.
Motion second, any further discussion here, non-question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Staff reports, do we remember our staff and anything to report above and beyond what's already on the agenda? Commissioner reports and comments, Dan, you're on deck.
Thank you, Commissioner Boyd. It's nice to see Mr. Johnson here today. It's interesting because if I recall, last week we had a Shenango Township supervisor here. So today we have a Slippery Rock Township supervisor. So welcome, George.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's all I have this morning.
Thank you. Loretta?
I just want to comment on the East Palestine incident with the train derailment to just reassure our Lawrence County residents that our Emergency Services Public Safety Director, Chad Strobel, was on top of everything happening and going on, in contact with the authorities in all of the different municipalities, the counties here and across the border in Ohio, to keep us up to date. And we have, as commissioners, been well informed of everything that was happening and going on. And pleased to say that we did not have to be evacuated or, sheltering in place, any of those instances. If that would have happened, I am sure that, again, our Public Safety Director, Chad Strobel, would have indicated that to us and taken care of the proper procedures to follow and making sure that everybody knew what they needed to do. So just wanted to comment on that. Job well done, although none of our services were needed and we did not have to activate any emergency protocols, but just to reassure that our residents that we were on top of it and our Public Safety Department was on top of it as well.
I'm gonna say a little bit more bluntly, there is no evacuation right now in Lawrence County.
Stop calling. No.
Please.
And to say that it was a well-executed burn that they did, or the release of the chemicals that they did, everything went as planned, and that was good, because there could have been some ill effects of that as well, but everything went as planned, and that's always a good thing.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yes.
I really have nothing. New resolutions. First on deck, Becky, I'm assuming you're here for the Stavish?
All of them, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so last week, I believe, we opened bids and we're about to award the lowest bidder for the storm damage work at Stavish Break Trail.
This will come out of our Marcellus Legacy account, which is the account we've traditionally used to maintain these parks. And again, I'm hopeful that these will be unnecessary in the future as we onboard that parks management position.
We also received a grant.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. So here, right there, so this is that cost of what, $6,000 to the $6,020 to the county. So yeah, thank you, Joe, and planning for pulling this together. I'm gonna make this.
Thank you.
I really hope the next resolution's coming out of a grant. I'll take a motion on 50.
So moved.
Second. Motion second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 51, please tell me this is coming out of a grant.
And this is the grant that for the continuation of the Quaker Falls DCNR grant. We had to assign a design consultant and engineer for us to move forward with the plans and specs for what we plan to do there at Quaker Falls.
So this is coming out of the C2P2 grant, this
Yes.
57,000?
Yes.
Okay. That makes me vote yes for it. Questions, comments?
Yeah, thank you. What are the next steps?
Well, yeah, first we have to submit this to the state, let them know that who RER is. And from there, we start with the drawings, and then we have to complete a very detailed bid packet. So we will be setting it up for bid once again as to what the plans are and prices coming in as far as what.
And what will those plans be? What will change
Well,
at the park?
Well, what our plans hopefully are is a new pavilion,
Mhm.
2 overlooks, and also, that all has to be ADA accessible.
Right.
Both overlooks as well as the pavilion. So anything that will, adhere to that and abut to it, all has to be ADA.
Are the fencing safety measures that we've put into place are, as best we can, are we up to speed
Oh,
as
yes.
far as those
Yes,
are
we are.
concerned?
Yeah, everything has been complete on both of those, the gorge one and also on the pedestrian bridge itself.
Great.
So everything is right where P4 wants us, so.
And I just think we remind folks, just be very cautious out there. It's a very steep drop.
Oh, yes.
And I don't mean to talk about Mr. Johnson again, but he knows full well about steep drops out at McConnell's Mill
Right.
State Park.
For sure.
We're talking about the Quaker Falls park that the county owns out in Mahoning Township. That's somewhat of a gorge also. So
Right.
we've put some protective fencing up to keep people from slipping accidentally and getting too close and falling down. But I know you know all too well how frequently that happens out at the state park. I'm sure you get called there quite often. But thank you very much.
Greta,
Oh, good.
take a motion on 51.
So moved.
Second?
Motion is second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next thing. I can take this last
Oh,
one if you want.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, this is, we made a slight error, last week. The New Wilmington contract should have gone to the New Wilmington EDC, their Economic Development Corporation, instead of the borough itself. So we're just amending that language.
That's fine with me.
I'll take a motion on 52.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. This next resolution is amending our employee handbook regarding a work from home policy. The policy explicitly prohibits work from home unless approved. Let me get this. I did, but I haven't read it. Unless approved by the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. I will note that for both the row officers and the courts, they still have to receive approval from the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners in order to work from home. But otherwise, work from home is now prohibited at Lawrence County government. Questions or comments on that? The purpose for this is, since COVID, we've been a little bit lax in what we've allowed to occur in terms of work schedules. We've had some employees working from home without notifying the appropriate chain of command. We've had other employees selectively take off to go work from home. This effectively does eliminate work from home unless an employee, and again, that employee could be reported to row officers, court administration, or commission. It's any employee that works for Lawrence County government, unless they requested and the commissioners approve their work from home. So I'll take a motion on 53 unless there's any questions or comments.
So moved.
Second?
Motion is second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 54. This is CYS Northwest Media. This is a massive amount for this agency, $3,700. I think we spent that last
Well,
hour.
thank you.
And it's just in case, right? Thank you.
So what do we have going on with we'll do Northwest Media, and then I'll let you guys jump right into Diversified Treatment Alternative Centers, and we'll take them both together unless anyone has an objection to that.
Spend that at Starbucks in about 6 months.
I actually probably do. That's probably close to what my expenditure is.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I did some bullet points for you guys. Northwest Media is our foster parent college that our new kinship and foster homes go through as part of their training requirements for certification. In the past year, 92 people were trained. That was 389 sessions, totaling 1,028 hours completed. We received a 91.7% satisfaction rate from the foster and kinship families. Core training list. So these are the list of trainings that the foster and kinship parents must have at the beginning before certification. Working with birth parents, child welfare team, supporting normalcy, trauma-informed parenting, understanding behavior in foster children, working with primary families, child safety and supervision, grief and loss in the care system, and non-compliance and defiance. Those are the core trainings that they must go through before they're certified. County cost is $3,750. When you break that down, it's $40.76 per person at $3.68 per training hour.
Questions or comments on that?
No, I appreciate your thoroughness. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And just for the viewing audience, Bill Blows, supervisor,
A foster
foster
and
care,
kinship.
foster and
Yes.
kinship programming at Children and Youth Services.
Yes.
And then, Mike, I assume you're here for Diversified Treatment Alternative Centers.
Yeah, it won't be that long.
Take it away.
This is a backup provider. They provide services for children with mental and behavioral health issues. We don't project to use them, but we just have, and this is a backup.
Understood. Very good. I see they're out in Milton, Pennsylvania, which is where, at least at one time, and they may still do. They used to make Chef Boyardee out in Milton, Pennsylvania, the canned spaghetti.
I got through college with that.
Did you? Okay. I don't know if they still
make it down.
I'll look into that.
Absolutely phenomenal. That and tacos, that's how I survived.
What was the second name?
Tacos.
Yeah.
Like oodles and noodles?
No, I skipped out on the
Okay.
oodles and noodles. I've eaten, don't get me wrong, I think everyone has, but no, I shifted over to Chef Boyardee.
That was my college food as well.
Noodles and noodles.
Chef Boyardee.
Chef Boyardee.
You do what you can to get sustenance,
Here you go.
or plug the hangover. I'll take a motion on 54 or 55.
So moved.
Second, motion is second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. That's actually reminded me.
Thank you, guys.
Last year, we had Director Bout in here to do an extensive recap of CYS activities. I thought that was beneficial. It was beneficial to me,
Yes.
and I know it was also very beneficial to the public. And I know that the department has made great strides, even since the last time Director Bout's been in. Our number of kids in care are way down. We've improved safety measures. Our caseworker retention is improving. It might be helpful to have Director Bout in here again, just for another one of those
Absolutely.
comprehensive presentations. So if neither of you object, I might reach out to him. Maybe not next week. I feel like Valentine's Day is an appropriate time for that. Maybe the week after we'll have John come in and.
Absolutely.
Good idea.
Thanks,
Thanks, gentlemen.
Up next, and this one's gonna break the bank too. Human Resources, $40.50 of their contingency to their association dues for our registered recorder notary information. So I'll take a motion on that.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Next commissioners meeting will be held Tuesday, Valentine's Day on 10 a.m. at the commissioners meeting room. There will be an opioid advisory board meeting today at noon in this room. I actually was with one of the chiefs of police of the county last night, and he inquired, which I was happy to hear that they were inquiring about some funding for some technology upgrades in their police cars. And so after I got Joe on the phone at 9:30 at night, and I appreciate you answering, we figured out what the procedure was for that.
Yes.
And I think
We made it as simple as we can.
that's the art. And this county's simple and better.
It's better, yes.
And so I think you'll see an application, but I was happy to hear that the police department was looking for sources of funds and looking to potentially tap into our opioid allocation. There'll be a planning commission meeting on Wednesday, February 8th at 12 o'clock noon in Bessemer Borough Building. And there will be a prison board meeting on Wednesday, February 15th at 12 o'clock noon in the commissioners meeting room. Am I missing anything?
That's it.
I think that's it.
We're closed on the 20th,
Are we?
President's Day.
President's Day.
Monday, the 20th.
Yes.
Do I have that right, the 20th? Yes.
All right, any additional public comments? Seeing none, George, I hope you enjoyed the show.
Yes.
Any additional comments?
Sunny will be here next week.
George, I'll say this, out of respect for Chairman Boyd, I held the position of chairman for a number of years, and you can see how efficiently these meetings are run. If I were chairing it, we'd be halfway through. No, this is,
Yes, there-
we're generally out of here in about a half an hour, give or
Yes.
take, depends on how much is on the agenda, but it's, he keeps them
Right.
moving.
My record's 5 minutes.
Yes.
I don't think I'm gonna beat that one. But thanks, Dan.
Sure.
All right, I will adjourn the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners.
Debbie, I have, if you'd like the packet. Oh, my. There we go. Good to see you, Debbie. George?
Good to go.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good shape. Let's do it. I will call to order this January 31st, 2023 meeting, Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Will all please rise for the pledge of allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. Kenny, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty justice for all. And all please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here. Row officer comments and reports. Looking out of the audience today, I see one row officer with us today, our controller, Prestipine. Dave, do you have anything for us above and beyond what's already on the agenda?
I do not.
Beautiful. Public comments. Is there any member of the public here wishing to make comment before the board? Seeing none. Fiscal and contractual. We've got a couple repository properties up on the slate. First one is approved, or at least has been approved by prior governing boards. That is the school district of the city of Newcastle and the city council of Newcastle. And it is a resolution for discussion and possible approval for repository property 25-900752 located at 157 Cathcart, I guess the Shannick Township.
Right.
The Shannick Township. I usually see Thomas Casey on the west side, which is why I jumped to Newcastle. But this has been approved by the Board of Supervisors. Vanessa, is it? I assume it either has been approved or not acted on by the school district.
It was. It must not have been acted on, yeah.
Well, in fairness to Shannick, I think that's all 4 repository properties, so they're probably not used to getting, the school district's probably not used to getting these requests. But we'll make that resolution 2023-38. Questions, comments on the resolution?
No.
I will take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have 3 repository bids which have been rejected. They're all in the city of Newcastle. I'll note that even if this board takes action to approve them today, because one taxing body denied them, they will be denied. That being said, this board, unless there are extenuating circumstances, this board generally rules if it's denied, we generally deny as well. And again, that being said, we don't have to, even though it wouldn't matter. So we'll make these 39. We'll take them together unless there's any objections to doing so. 40 and 41. And these are rejected by the city of Newcastle, all made by, we got 1 from Thomas Casey, 2 from Thomas Casey, and 1 from Tony Argero. Tory Argero. 1 property is located on Sampson Street, 1 property is located on Moravia Street, and 1 property is the First Merit Building. Again, all of these are denied by the city. Thomas Casey owes back taxes, and in the case of the Liberty, First Merit Building, it is dilapidated, so those are the reasons. I'll take a motion to approve 39 through 41 unless there are any questions or comments.
So moved.
Second, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
No.
Commissioner Vogler?
No.
Commissioner Boyd?
No.
Motion fails.
Thank you. We have no advertising for bids and proposals, although I do believe we'll have a couple things coming up for maintenance pretty fast, specifically relating to roof repairs. We do have the opening of bids and proposals. That's why our controller's with us today for the Stabbage Bike Trail. I'm hopeful this is the last time we'll have to open bids as it relates to park maintenance. Again, we'll be onboarding a parks manager position in quick order. That being said, Dave, welcome to the circus, as always. Happy to have you with us. If you'd be able to do the honors of ripping those folders open.
Sure thing. I have 3 bids. The first one I have here is from C. Crump Incorporated in Hubbard, Ohio. Total amount of bid, $41,020. Next one is GP Construction Incorporated in Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. Total amount of bid, $46,323. And the final one is from North Beaver Contracting in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Total amount of bid, $42,712.
Okay, questions or comments on any of those bids? As is customary, what we'll do next is we'll take a motion to table the bids and refer them to the appropriate administrative officials, in this case, the controller, the solicitor, and the Department of Planning, for further review, and we'll take action on those bids at a later meeting. So I'll take a motion to table and refer to the appropriate administrative officials.
So moved.
Second. The motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Dave, thank you very much.
Thank you.
No problem.
We have 3 warrant registers today from January 27, 26, and 24. The warrant register is just simply a list of checks or bills paid out by the controller and the treasurer that we have authorized over the last few weeks. And I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over to make sure that all are accurate, that all of our monies are accounted for, the public's monies are accounted for. And I'll take a motion to approve or to accept and file 3 warrant registers whenever you're ready.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The minutes from Tuesday, January 24th, 2023. I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over and take a motion to approve or make any changes as necessary and expedient. This was a big money meeting. We spent a significant amount of ARPA dollars, a significant amount of American Rescue Plan Act dollars, a significant amount of paving dollars. It was and today's the day we actually do the contracting that is associated with the authorization of those appropriations.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have 1 written communication today from North Memorial Animal Hospital in Wilmington Township. They are applying for a National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System (NPDES) permit for their sewage. Any questions or comments on that?
No.
Hearing none, I'll take a motion to accept and file correspondence.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Staff reports. Do we have any member of staff here that has anything to report above and beyond what's already on the agenda? JR, approach the bench.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Here's a written copy of the report for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The report has to do with the data update project that the previous Board of Commissioners signed in 2019. I'm pleased to announce that it has finally been completed in conjunction with Evaluated Services, Technology, and Vision Government Solutions. The project was signed in 2019, like I said, from the previous Board of Commissioners, in order to update all property characteristics throughout the county by the use of aerial imagery and oblique imagery. I want to stress this was not a reassessment, but an update of just property data. We used the current valuation tables that were effective in our last countywide reassessment in 2003. Wanted to just give the update. There were 26,035 parcels that were reviewed by not only Vision and EST personnel, but also the county personnel. And out of that, 729 of them still need to be site visited because there was obstructions from aerial imagery, either from other objects or from tree cover. So when my staff is out in that district doing its normal routine building permits, they will visit these properties to pick up what is noted based off this project. Just to recap, the cost of this project was $150,000. And I'm happy to announce the total assessment increase from this project was $61,471,549. That gives the county tax, unbudgeted county tax revenue of $510,767,000. So as you can see, it was a good return on the investment from county tax dollars.
I don't know if that is budgeted now.
It is budgeted.
It is budgeted now.
Well,
Don't get any ideas.
the last group is not. We sent out 1,300 change of assessment notices at the beginning of this month for the last group of changes that occurred at the end of the year. So that has not been budgeted yet.
Okay.
Did you have to tell him that?
I'll have those numbers to you at a future meeting. But I also want to stress one other thing. I want to be clear that not every person in the county received an increase in their assessment. There were over 3,000 property owners that also received a decrease. So the assessment office's job is to make sure everyone is paying their fair share of taxes. That can be an increase, decrease, or a status quo stay the same. So just wanted to give that report. I am working on a district breakdown by municipality and school district that I will then forward on to each of the respective districts, so they are aware of how the project turned out for them.
Yeah, I would, just a couple comments, we'll turn it over to my colleagues. Number one, the $510,000 figure, that's only county tax revenue, is that accurate?
That is correct.
Which means all of our school districts and all but one of our municipalities, New Orleans Borough, which doesn't levy a property tax, is receiving additional impact beyond just the county impact in terms of their bottom line. Number two, I happened to be with the township supervisor. I met one of the supervisors for breakfast this morning up at Mama Jane's in Neshannock. And he actually commented that because of this, along with a couple of other initiatives they've put into place in his township, their revenue projections, even beyond what they budgeted for in their most recent budget, are already exceeding expectations for fiscal year 2023. And so that specific township, and along with many others, are in better fiscal health because of this initiative. And lastly, I'll say, and just to tap on what you said last, this is not about increasing or decreasing taxes. This isn't about us trying to go grab more revenue or lose more revenue or any of that. This is about making sure that everybody in Lawrence County is paying their fair share based on the taxing mechanisms that we have available towards the provision of government services. That's the goal of your office. That's the goal of the three of us sitting up here. That's the goal of the Board of Assessment Appeals, is not that people pay more or less in taxes, but that everybody pays their fair share, and that's what this project helped to accomplish. My colleagues?
Yeah, agreed that it clarifying that it wasn't a reassessment, that it was just updating.
Only other comment I would like to make is I do want to really put a shout out to the assessment office staff. They really went above and beyond the last 3 years with this project. We've got some phone calls from very angry property owners, but then after we kind of explained that most of them seem to settle down, but every property owner did have their right to appeal the increase, decrease, or whatever happened. But I do believe the office did go above and beyond, so I do want to give them a shout out.
Absolutely. And you made a good point. Some properties actually decreased. Their taxes did decrease when they come in, if they did file that appeal. I know I got different phone calls, and again, once it's explained to them that they do calm down. I haven't gotten anything recent, so whatever the word is getting out or has gotten out, that it's just not, it's not a reassessment. You do have that opportunity to appeal. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other member of staff have anything to report about the authority on the agenda? Seeing none. Commissioner reports and comments. Loretta, you're on deck. Floor is yours.
I have nothing today. Thank you.
Dan?
Likewise.
Only thing I'll note is congratulations to you both for not having any responsibility over the elections for the next year. I am envious right now, although I will have an announcement. I'll be releasing what my intentions are on Thursday, but for at least the next couple of days and potentially for the next at least couple of months, congratulations on absolving yourselves of that headache, and best of luck to you both.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right, moving on to the resolution portion. We have
Do we maybe need to clarify that? I mean, I don't know how many people are viewing, but the fact that Dan and I, we've both indicated that we are running for re-election, since we are members of the election board, we can no longer participate in that, and we are no longer members of the election board. So what happens in that instance then is the judge appoints two additional members, to replace us of like party. And so those replacements has been made, the order has been put out, so Dan and I no longer sit or can sit on the election board. Right now, Morgan is still sitting, and like he said, for however long amount of time, he will be there. Do it right. We'll be watching. Go ahead,
I
Dan.
was joking with Kim Germany that, you know, not even allowed to speak to him anymore. I walked right past him in the hallway. Didn't even say hello. But no, we do have, that's a joke, but we do have to keep
Yes,
our relationship with that office now at arm's length.
yes,
And that's a good law. It's a very good law.
absolutely.
Enjoy your service with Mr. Piccari and Attorney Seltzer.
Yes,
I have a feeling the meetings are gonna be lively.
right.
But on that, note, we'll move into the new
Okay.
resolution portion of the circus. First up, we have our tax lien director, Tish Foster, for a resolution discussion, entering into agreement with Infocon. Tish, approach the bench. How you doing today?
Good.
What do we have before us?
Well, basically, we just want to be able to have the beneficiaries' information that's done through Infocon on our computer so that we can access that data for our tax sales. We've been, we have some areas where, maybe someone didn't get noticed it should, or the address didn't get updated, because we don't have access to all that information, so that will make it easier for us to do that if we're able to do that. That's our goal.
Questions, comments?
Is the pathonetary aware that you're bringing this to our attention?
Yes, our
Okay.
solicitor contacted the pathonetary to get her approval first,
Great,
and then the next step was to bring it to the meeting.
thank you.
Very good.
No, this is a
Excellent.
cost of about it is $576 total for $48 a month. And again, the hope is that this increases the efficiencies of the tax claim office and allows for more efficient administration of our tax sales and our repository sales.
Exactly.
So, thank you. I'll take a motion on 42.
So moved.
Second, motion second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, LCAPS, Vanessa. We've got a resolution for our contribution to the Senior Citizen Nutritional Shopping Program, about $5,160. We've done this every year, but it's certainly always good to see it. You'd be able to give us a refresher on what the taxpayers are paying for.
Absolutely. So we're here today to ask for $5,160 to supplement the Senior Nutritional Shopping Program. These are trips provided on the ACTS bus service to Lawrence County residents who are 65 or older. They can travel for just $1 to go to the grocery store, farmer's market, or food pantry. That was something that came up through COVID, and
Right,
we
yes.
added that knowing that you all would be, I probably should have asked now that I'm saying it out loud, but I know you would have been supportive of that. But anyway, roughly, the average amount per trip that the county would pay is less than $2 per trip. That allows our seniors to go for just $1, with the PennDOT lottery program paying 85% of that fare. It enables people to have access to groceries more frequently. It's not cost prohibitive, especially things like fresh fruit, bread, and things like that. You can't just buy once per month and have all month. So also with our same day trip program, we're finding that our seniors are really using the same day trip program in addition with the senior nutritional program in order to go out and get, groceries as they're getting low and just having more flexibility and access to our community. So it's been great.
No, it's a good program. As you mentioned, you're projecting 2,775 trips to be provided to senior citizens, which is excellent. And I'm certainly in favor of it. I'm sure that the vote will reflect the board's positive opinion towards the program. Any questions or comments for LCAP, Vanessa?
Just thank you for doing the job that you do. I know sometimes it's difficult to keep the monies and the numbers and the seniors, where they need to go and what they need to do. So thank you guys so much for keeping such good track of our seniors.
I probably ask you this every year, but for the folks 65 and over, are there any income limitations? This could be anybody 65 or over who resides in Lawrence County.
Absolutely. We jokingly say you can have $1 or $1 million. If you need us, we're here for you. Now, obviously, we don't have a whole lot of millionaires, but it's just a joke that we say.
Sure.
No income tied to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take a motion on 43.
So moved.
Second, a motion is second, any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, Lawrence County, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you, thanks Vanessa.
Thank you so
very
much.
Up next, we have our planning department, 44. This is a project that we're looking to do with Elport Borough for the completion of their zoning ordinance. Alan, Becky, which one of you guys is take Alan? So what do we have? I'm glad that we got a smaller municipality here looking at their zoning.
Right.
And I want to emphasize that these types of programs are available to every municipality in the county of Lawrence for anyone that wants to partner with our planning department to undertake them. So if you'd be able to give us an overview of what's going on?
Yeah, Elport Borough is in the process of updating their zoning ordinance. Their council has actually written most of the ordinance. They just need assistance in completing it and making sure that it's compliant with the Pennsylvania municipality planning code. So that's what we're entering the contract.
What are the terms of the agreement? Are we charging them?
Yes.
How much?
$500.
So in other words, for $500, they're getting
Yeah.
assurance, you have free and full compliance with the Pennsylvania municipalities planning code. Certainly a worthwhile expenditure there and certainly deeply discounted from what you pay an attorney or a third-party consulting firm. So for the low price of $500, we will provide your very own Alan Miller to you. And any questions from colleagues here? Thank you for your work on this, and I'm sure we appreciate it, and I'm sure the Elport appreciates it as well. I'll take a motion on 44.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel, Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Becky, are you here for these ones?
No.
Okay,
No,
I
I'm
can
just-
take them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was here just to provide support here for Alan. So, yeah, no, I was like, no, we're good.
These all, and unless there's any objection, we'll take them all together.
Sure.
Just because that's probably the easiest way to do it. Last week, we approved a number of American Rescue Plan Act allocations for various projects. What we approved last week was the appropriation. It was not an actual contractual agreement with the entities to whom we're awarding funding. This week, we're officially awarding funding to Westminster College, $250,000, Mahoning Township, $250,000, New Wilmington Borough, $60,000, and LCSS, LCAP, $276,105. I'll note for the other projects, the broadband contracts already been entered into, and the Elwood City Borough project is actually technically running through Lawrence County. And so while we approved the money for Elwood City, the project itself is being administered by Lawrence County. So for that reason, we don't need to contract with ourselves to execute that plan of work. And then our internal IT upgrades, they were internal IT upgrades. So questions or comments? All these have been reviewed by the auditors. In fact, I think the auditors pulled the actual contracts together. All of them were reviewed by the solicitors. It's just on us now to approve. Any questions or comments before? I'll take a motion on resolutions 45 through 48.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have a resolution for discussion of possible to execute a letter of authorization, all related documents for mission critical partners or contact to facilitate the NG 911 service. This is an initiative that's been in place actually now for a couple of years, transitioning to NG 911 service from our current systems. This contract will take place through, it starts yesterday and will take place through 2025. This is through our 911 center, and I believe funds here are being paid for out of our 15% grant allowance from PEMA. So this is not coming, I don't believe this is coming out of the general fund. But it modernizes our 911 systems and allows for more efficient 911 service. And as we all know, how that service is critical to provide to our residents. Questions or comments on this? I'll take a motion to approve 49.
So moved.
Second with it, I do have a comment. I believe you both know this, but Mr. Strobel did plan to be here today. And last night, we had a couple of unfortunate situations in the county
Yes.
that really required his attention. We obviously, you may know, we had a shooting in the borough of Elwood City and a fire in Scott Township. And it did require Mr. Strobel's attention. And I think it probably took his time a good part of the evening. So his office called and asked, and again, maybe you know already, that normally he would have been here, but and he hopes that we understand why he can't. So
Absolutely.
thank you.
Absolutely. You have a motion second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we just have a transfer, and it's a large transfer, but there's a reason for it, $82,819. As many of you know, the 911 budget, from a budgetary perspective, is the bane of my existence. We get the actual amounts right. For the life of me, I can't get the accounts right. And so this is transferring. I put all of our 15% funding into a shared CPE account for the 2023 fiscal year. Chad is separating the funds out from that shared CPE account into project-specific accounts as required by PEMA. Again, the budget's so done on every other area. I cannot get 911 100% right. It's impossible for me to wrap my head around. But we're moving that money out of that shared CPE account into the project-specific accounts. And this is all 15% funding, it's not general tax levy. So I'll take a motion to approve that transfer.
Before, if I could just comment, no, because a light bulb went off in the fog here. Through CCAP, we actually vote on priorities that we want to speak to our legislators about at the Capitol in Harrisburg. And the 911 system, the appropriations, it sunsets January 31st of 2024. So that is one of the top priorities for CCAP, is to be involved through our different counties, through the different systems that we have, to be involved with the legislators to try to come up with the systems, whether it continue the way that it is with increases in different areas or not. Maybe putting everything under one umbrella, that, it could be disseminated a bit better for budgeting purposes. I'm sure other counties go through the same thing, but that is one of the top priorities, because it does sunset next January, and you can't delay on that because you can't stop the 911 system.
And that formula is so flawed that they're using right now. They use, in order to compile, so for context, whenever you get your cell phone bill, I'm sure you guys see a tax on it. Pennsylvania specific tax that goes to PEMA, which then flows to the counties to provide 911 services. And it's based on a formula that was, I think they came up with it in 2015. I want to say it's 14 or 15. The problem with the formula is that it was based on actual expenses incurred by counties in prior years. And so the problem with that is you had some counties that constructed a 911 center in prior years that cost, potentially, I think ours cost, Dan, you'd be able to give a better figure on this, maybe $6-7 million.
Yeah, at least.
And there were some overages on that I'm aware of. But so we constructed our 911 center after the formula was written. And so while Indiana County is the county I'll use as the example, they're receiving millions of dollars more than we are to fund their 911 system. They're exactly the same size county. But because the formula is based on prior year expenses, and they put their 911 center in as they were crafting the formula, they're getting a significant more dollars than us, who have the same population, but put our 911 center in afterwards. And so that formula needs fixed. It would save our taxpayers' dollars. It would probably cost the Indiana County taxpayers' dollars, but then again, we don't represent them.
Hence not the argument, but the fact that it needs to be worked on, because it's
It's not fair.
It's not fair, and it's not going to be an easy thing as a representative to say, well, go ahead and pull those millions from Indiana or another county and share a little bit more with Lawrence. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how things move forward.
I think they were one vote away from it in the last vote to change the formula, and some guy switched at the last minute. I remember Jeff, when he was still,
Oh,
he
wow,
was telling me
okay,
about it.
okay.
But it's
Yes.
a big issue. And I'm glad that CCAP's making it a priority.
Yes, definitely.
Vanessa, would you do a motion?
I don't think, I think I spoke out
You
of
want a
turn
motion?
before. I will motion.
Second. Motion is second. Any further discussion on the transfer? Hearing none, question on the motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. No ordinance is on the table for introduction for final action. Next commissioners meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 7th at 10 a.m. in the commissioners meeting room. There will be a Lawrence County Opioid Advisory Board meeting following that meeting on the 7th at 12 o'clock noon in this room. And there will be a planning commission meeting on Wednesday, February 8th at 12 o'clock noon at the Bessemer Borough Building. Any public comments?
If I may, I'm sorry.
Absolutely, Ken.
You had asked Sherry Knight her name. That this is Sherry Knight. She is going to be our Elm Street liaison. So we're just trying to pay a little bit more attention on what's going on in our government, see how we can help you guys and how we can work together to better our community.
Absolutely. I'll note that the Elm Street project on the Lower East Side, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, is one of 2 Elm Street designations in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they just added a third one that I'm aware of and maybe a fourth, but that's still a great saying that little Newcastle, PA
Absolutely.
has been respected enough for them to give us that designation.
Absolutely. And we know that it's because of the hard work of individuals like you both that we received that designation. So appreciate your efforts on Lower East Side. Appreciate everything you guys do for the community. And certainly happy to have you here, and you're always welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay.
Any additional comments by the board?
No.
All right, I will adjourn the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners.
Thanks for, Ken, don't forget your Steeler jacket.
Yeah, better take that, huh?